No matter who she is, no one is perfect, and there are often different signs that women reveal about what could be lurking beneath their beautiful outward appearance. Many of these flaws go unnoticed by men as they try to pursue a woman, but as men age, they learn the importance of screening and making sure that a woman doesn't have any issues that could come back to bite them. Older men have learned how to observe through years of experience, and now these secrets are revealed to help you understand which red flags you should avoid when looking for a new partner.
Fearless Forge.
Number 1. Celebrity fangirls. This one might come as a surprise to many of you, but one of the most critical signs that a woman doesn't have a personality of her own is being the typical fangirl of some celebrities. In fact, the world has reached a point where every woman wants to be the next Taylor Swift, and many of them are willing to sacrifice their core personalities to do this. But why does it pose a problem in a relationship? You see, one of the most important things for a healthy relationship is consistency, and this means that men and women need to understand the core personality of the other. However, if she doesn't want to reveal her core personality and rather keeps on focusing on what her favorite celebrities are doing, this influence will eventually engulf the relationship. Older men realize that they can't try to date a fictional character, and if a woman is constantly trying to be someone else, it's not worth risking the relationship, even attempting to date her. Regardless of what you say or do, the celebrity that she follows will always be right, and you'll be left as the wrong one. Number 2. High body count. Body count is one of the hardest things to determine, but with a little clever questioning disguised as just normal conversation, you can gain a pretty good idea of what her body count might be. You see, a woman with a high body count has been affected by the energy of numerous men, and this has an effect on the person she is, or the personality she takes on. You'll notice that women with more sexual experience tend to be less feminine due to being used to men using and abusing them. They tend to focus more on being the strong and independent type, which means that if you have a dominant masculine personality, there will be constant clashes between the two of you. Women need to submit to men, and this will show that they trust them. However, if a woman doesn't trust a man, you'll find it excruciatingly hard to have a successful relationship. Make sure you can deduce at least the range of her body count before you enter a serious relationship to protect her from later heartache. Number 3. Friends she hangs out with. Forgers who've been following the channel will already know that people are heavily affected by those they surround themselves with. If you try to fight the bad influences, you eventually reach a point where it doesn't matter and you'll have been subconsciously affected. This is why high-worth individuals stick together. A wise man will spend time with her and her friends and figure out who they are, what their goals are, and how they choose to spend the majority of their time. This directly translates to the type of person that she's about to become. The goal is to make sure that she and her friends have goals that actually align with yours. If not, you run the risk of clashing with one another over the most senseless of issues, which can actually ruin the relationship in the end. As a rule of thumb, you should try to spend time with her and her friends to deduce which type of people they are and who she's becoming. Additionally, women tend to be more off their guard when they spend time with their friends due to their level of trust. However, if there are signs among her friends that you're not willing to agree with how they conduct themselves, your best solution might be to eventually walk away and simply just cut the relationship short. This will save you plenty of frustration along the line. Keep in mind that you should never make her choose between you and her friends. Number 4. Relationship with her parents. Now, this one can be a little more tricky, but you must look at the relationship between her and her parents. Older men understand that there are two sides, and once you spend time with the parents, you should have a general idea of the type of people they are and if they are good parents. The thing now is to see and observe her relationship with her parents, and if they are good people, you should note if she doesn't have a good relationship with them. This is often her fault, and it could be a rebellious type of personality, which is a clear sign of immaturity among people. However, there is also another issue which is often referred to as daddy issues and describes the relationship that a woman generally has with her father. Daddy issues could be the catalyst for her choosing an older man, but when they're bad, you'll notice that she enjoys being abused. When choosing an ideal mate, men want a woman who doesn't constantly rebel against authority and actually wants a peaceful relationship. Someone with an abusive complex will self-destruct more often than not and even sabotage the relationship. These are all things that you'll most likely want to avoid if you want a happy and successful relationship. Now you have two choices. Either you can do your best to assist her through this, which will take a lot of emotional and mental fortitude, or you can walk away. Walking away is often the best course of action to ensure you don't need to deal with this. Number 5. Male best friends. The age-old issue of having male best friends is another thing that older men generally need to look into and keep track of. You see, men and women are vastly different beings, and while society tells you that your partner should have a male best friend, this is not the case when we look at the primal nature of both men and women. You see, men and women think and behave differently. Where women default back to emotions, men generally tend to think with logic, and they always want to find a pragmatic solution to problems. But this is not the issue. You see, women want someone who will revel in their emotions with them, but men generally only do this in the hopes of getting something in return. This means that if you and the woman run into some issues and she turns to her best friend, she might actually fall in love with him, or it might lead to some other form of promiscuous behavior that will definitely have a bad effect on your relationship. Both men and women are better off avoiding the companionship of the other genders when they seek best friends. Older men have realized this through trial and error, and if you ever need someone to tell you that your girlfriend shouldn't have a male best friend, this should be the place you get the information from. Psychology has backed this up time and time again over the last few decades. Number 6. Always wanting to be the center of attention. It can be comical and even quite fun to see your woman captivate crowds, but if she doesn't have any boundaries to the attention that she seeks, it could cause massive issues. Regardless of how stoic you seem to be, you'll eventually fall into the problem of insecurity, which could cause plenty of personal issues. If a woman manages to be the center of attention by her natural beauty or personality, it will be fine. But when she becomes someone who actively seeks attention, you need to know that once you're occupied and you don't give her the same level of attention, she'll once again find that she seeks attention elsewhere. Much like when she has a couple of male friends around her, the insecurity will eventually catch up with you, which can have a damning effect on how the relationship progresses. The other problem is that many women also tend to go out of their way as they want to make their partner jealous. Women who constantly seek the attention of the world and crowds are better avoided. Number 7. How she treats others. Finally, you need to look at how she treats others around her and to make sure that she does the moral thing in how she treats other people. Many women believe they're the most important thing in the world, and aside from their partner, they can often be very disrespectful to other people, especially those who don't have the same social status as they have. However, this can be a massive problem in the relationship, and if you're naturally a kind person, you might get frustrated if she does mistreat others. The thing is that this stems from her upbringing and personal beliefs, which means that she won't necessarily change over time, and she'll just become even more pedantic. The best way to check this is to see how she treats servers and others on your dates. If she can't do it in a good and healthy way, you know that she's not a good person. And let's face it, but everyone wants to know that their partner is actually a good person. Throughout history, men have learned the various red flags of women through trial and error. Now that you have all this information at your fingertips, you have absolutely no reason to fall into the same traps. Older men tend to discern much better, which is also something that makes them attractive. But make sure to check out the following video to see exactly why women are so attracted to older men.